God, I could really use a Wonka bar right now. That looks so delicious.
That's what I wanted after the movie right away.
Hello and welcome to Cassette Take with Annmarie and Ethan, where you can eject whenever you want, but please do not forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I am Wonka. I'm kidding. Anne-Marie, hello.
Wonka, destroyer of worlds, and stomachs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, stomachs.
And clogging arteries.
It's fine.
So yeah, welcome to 2024.
Woo, we made it.
We made it. It's a shock to everyone.
Yeah, really. Oh man.
Yeah.
It was a good year, good 2023, but ready for 2024 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we started off by seeing a 2023 movie in Wonka.
Yeah, we kind of did this backwards a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, there were so many movies to see in 2023 that came out like at the end, like everyone's running to the finish line. And granted, were all of them, did all of them have us want to jump out of our seats to go see right away? Not necessarily, but there was one. There was at least one, and that was Wonka.
There we go.
We want to see Wonka.
You know what? This is so surprising because, as we know, I don't like musicals, but I was the one that pushed to go see this movie, and I loved it.
Yeah, our friend Cheyenne and I, we kind of, after some time, got Annmarie out of the whole mentality
You
of...
broke me.
Yeah, we broke her. Broke her out of the mentality of, like, musicals should not be movies. And now she's on our side.
I'm on your side now. Just wait till Mean Girls comes out. Oh, gosh.
Just even more and more. So,
More
coming
musicals.
over. But, yeah, so we saw Wonka. And Wonka was wonderful.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really fun. A very, very charming movie.
Yeah, definitely. The story of it, Timothée Chalamet is the GOAT, as we know, and so...
Yeah, and I mean, for all of you who don't know, and have been living under a rock, some sort of anti-magical wonderment rock, Wonka is a prequel to Charlie. Is the first one Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or is it Willy Wonka?
I was looking into this because I was so confused because I think it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and then the Johnny Depp one is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay, and I want to say that this is a prequel to the Gene Wilder one, which is the Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, it did capture that, and it still captured a bit of the Johnny Depp version, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, it did. I think Timothée Chalamet was so interesting about both the way Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp played Willy Wonka is they played him like a madman, and this is beforehand, so you can kind of see that madness stirring inside.
Yeah, little hints of it here and there.
Yeah.
He was able to capture it so well.
So good. Oh my gosh, his voice. We knew of Timothée Chalamet is his singing in high school that he did, which I heard that's how he got to play Wonka. I don't know if that's true or not, but his singing, it's excellent. His facial expressions, like in the trailer, there's the shot like, you never had chocolate before? Like, that facial expression, I was like, oh, this is like Willy Wonka.
Yeah, for me, the facial expression that did it in the trailer was the one where he is under a light bulb and it's like, it clicks for him, something clicks for him, and it just like, wow, it really kind of channeled that Gene Wilder energy mixed in with the Johnny Depp. And personally, I'm a big fan of the Gene Wilder version, as inconsistently crazy as it is. But like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp, it was all right. Like, I mean, I like Johnny Depp's portrayal. I thought it was, pretty silly and funny. But, I prefer, if I had to pick one over the other, I would say the Gene Wilder is definitely my favorite. And this definitely did capture a lot more of that than it did the Johnny Depp version.
Yeah, I think because the director who did Paddington did this
Paul
one.
King, yeah.
Thank you. I could not remember. I think he really was inspired by the Gene Wilder one too. So it's really interesting that the connection is very much there because I bought it. I was like, 100% I buy that Timothée Chalamet becomes Gene Wilder in this movie. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the one thing I was really worried about. I mean, I figured Timothée Chalamet could like really give a fantastical performance no matter what. But if you're gonna try to capture an established IP with him, especially a character as iconic as Willy Wonka, you you really can't remove the Gene Wilder or the Johnny Depp from it. So the fact that he was able to not only make it his own, but like again channel those elements from those previous iterations, I think that was wonderful. He was really able to do it. What would be your favorite moment from this, without any spoilers? You know, like
Oh, we can't do spoilers?
not
Okay.
yet, not yet, but
Um, oh no. I'm thinking the moment it's kind of spoilers.
all right, then
So,
yeah, we'll do that. I guess we'll do that a little. That's my bad.
but no, you're good. I think honestly everyone's kills it in this. Like Olivia Colman, she's amazing.
Which, by the way, that was funny. After we got out of the movie, it was like, was that Olivia Colman
I
in the
said that
movie?
right away because she just I don't know what about Olivia Colman, but she's like the Meryl Streep of this age. Like she just I like don't see Olivia Colman. I just see who she acts as, and I loved her. I loved obviously Hugh Grant in this movie is awesome. The minimum screen time he has, he really makes up for it. And who's the cop?
Oh, Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, he's so good.
Oh yeah, he's fun. It's kind of funny, like where everyone is kind of primarily like this. I like how there's no like true kind of consistency of nationality there.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a different accent and all that, and it's just I find that hilarious. Like you got this Brooklyn sounding cop along with these British like aristocrats.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I love how sinister, like and cartoonish these villains are.
They were fun.
They're like so over the top that it works, and they really leaned into it. That was probably some of my favorite parts of the whole movie was simply that.
It's so interesting because when I heard about this movie and what it was about, I was like, is this gonna work? Like Chocolate Cartel, like is this gonna work? And it works in this film.
I mean, you say that out loud, Chocolate Cartel, and that alone is hilarious.
I don't know how Paul King came up with that, but I'm like, that's good. That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've never seen either of the Paddington movies.
You haven't?
No, I've been meaning to for the longest time, especially.
They're so cute.
I'm kind of considering just jumping to Paddington 2 with how critically acclaimed it is. But, I don't know, I'm definitely going to get around to him eventually. But, yeah, going into this without seeing any of his previous work, Paul King really brings his A game to this. If there was any worry that he wouldn't, because it's an established IP like Wonka, I mean, there without doubt he brings it.
Yeah.
Everything looks whimsical, fantastical, while also having some sort of footing in the real world. Characters aren't always like happy. Like there's some sinister stuff that does go down, and even though it is cartoony, it still feels like okay, that's a real problem. These are like emotional things I can relate with, and it's it's just such a wonderful and strangely for a Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kind of movie, relatable.
Who would have thought too? Like it just like the writing of it was the songs. I think we have to talk about the songs.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't remember half of them, but I knew I liked them because of the beat of it. It made me like fall in love with these characters and the "Come with me and you'll see." It's so beautiful. Like it's such engraved in a lot of memories of ours, and so I love it.
I was kind of shocked that they brought out like at least the musical motif of it
Yeah.
right out of the gate, but then they had really leaned too much into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the end, that's when they really brought it out. I'm like, okay, I like how they did that.
Yeah.
What would be your favorite song from the movie?
Well, it's got to be that one. "Come with me." and
Okay.
you'll see. But I like the Scrub Scrub song too.
Oh, you like Scrub Scrub?
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I really liked the what was it? The first song that Willy Wonka sings
When he's
in
coming to the New York.
no, not that one. It's the when he's first or no, when they're in the shop.
Oh,
Yeah, when he
yeah.
first opens the shop.
Yeah.
And, everyone is just kind of like, oh, I'm buying this, I'm
Getting
buying that.
everything.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, there's so much charm in it. It's got like a really good brass section in there too that honestly, I have such a soft spot for a good brass section.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cute. My biggest question is, what chocolate would you want to have tried from
You know what? I Listen, I'm a big lover of chocolate, but
Same.
a lot of them didn't look that appetizing.
Really?
Except for one.
Is it the
The
hover
one
chalk?
No,
What?
the cup. And this has been a thing ever since the original one, like the tulip cup or whatever, where you can munch out of it.
My jaw is dropped. I was like so hungry for chocolate.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it still gets you hungry for chocolate because you still see chocolate, and it's like, oh, chocolate.
They
So,
kind of did look fake, but I was like, that looks so good too.
right. So, I mean, it's overall, like, I would have to say that the one that really stood out to me, and it always has, was that little teacup that you
Yeah.
can just munch out of. And I always imagine, like, dipping that into, like, the chocolate river or whatever, not worrying about the whatever germs are in there. And just kind of, it's basically the equivalent of going to Golden Corral and you take the same chance of sticking in your tulip cup.
Oh no. Golden Corral's never gonna sponsor us now.
Because we were really banking on that.
Can we go into spoilers?
Okay, before we do,
Okay.
what would be a rating for the movie, Emery?
You know what? I went into this expecting to have fun, and I had fun. Timothée Chalamet, Olivia Colman, they brought just so much joy, and I walked out of it this is so cute. This is such a Willy Wonka movie, and I would love to see this again. And so I would rate it pretty high, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I would give it a 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
My one thing that I would probably say I wasn't too big of a fan of was the lack of screen time for the Oompa Loompa, at least kind of where it was introduced. It was just like, oh, he's in the movie now.
Yeah.
And I guess, you could argue in the original that's kind of was the case, but I don't know, I felt it was a little more gradual because it's like you're in the factory. Here are the people that work at the factory. So with this, it was just like, oh, no, he's in the movie now. And kind of there's some sort of an explanation that you get later on, but I just felt that if you're going to do it that way, have him more involved towards the beginning, have him shown on the ship instead of just kind of randomly throwing him in there saying, oh, there's a little orange man. But but either way, though, I really enjoyed the movie. I would say definitely an 8 out of 10, maybe 8.5 if we're doing throwing a little decimal, going crazy and throwing a little decimal. But yeah, no, we would definitely say we both enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. Spoilers now.
Spoiler time.
Was it pretty obvious that Noodle was his nephew or niece? The chocolate cartel, Noodle was his niece.
I'd say half and half.
Yeah.
No association to the creamer, but I don't know. It just was like at some points, I'm like, oh, is he?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew there was going to be some sort of relation, but it being a niece, I didn't know. I thought it was just kind of like a parent that was in denial. But then again, with a movie like this, I should have expected an uncle.
Yeah.
It
was cute.
Yeah.
It really worked. I was like, oh, that's so cute and everything. And she gets to go home to her mom and all that. I did want to mention this too, because it does leave it fairly open. Paul King leaves it fairly open for a sequel. We get to see his factory and, his vision of the factory. Do you think this gets a sequel, or do you think, one and done? Go on.
I would say that, personally, I would say one and done.
Okay.
It
works.
Yeah.
It can be.
It's like there's definitely a story you probably could tell, but the question is it worth telling? Because if you have a story that you're just telling for the sake of money, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be worth telling.
Yeah.
But, hey, it comes down to, does Paul King, and if he's going to be behind the helm again, Does he have something to say with this one?
That's true.
And who knows? Maybe Paddington didn't need a sequel. And
yes, it did.
It did. Okay.
It needs a third one. It
needs
a
third.
The perfect
well, now we
trilogy.
know. But when the first one came out, did it need Paddington 2? I don't know. I haven't seen it, but no movie really needs a sequel. No movie doesn't really need a sequel. Mm-hmm. It's just there's so many possibilities, and it's just the whole maneuverability of whether or not you're able to find that story path that people are going to enjoy and is worth sharing with the world. Kind of like Willy Wonka and his chocolate.
Yeah, that's true.
See, brought that full chocolate bar.
There we go. Roll credits.
Yeah.
Well, it is box office wise. We're gonna look at it. Their budget is $125 million, and right now I think it just crossed over 100. So, it's still got time. We're still in that kind of Christmas, winter season. So who knows? And it kind of has a clear path into January. So we'll see how well it does too. I hope it makes some money here because I did thoroughly enjoy it. And Sally Hawkins too is my favorite scene, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I was like, Sally Hawkins, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's just this movie has such a wonderful cast that you're not really expecting to pop out. Like, oh, Keegan-Michael Key's in this movie, yeah. Sally Hawkins,
Olivia Colman,
like oh, you're in this too. They're so wonderful. It looks like everyone had a fun time making
Paul
this movie.
King really seems like he's such a personal director, and he likes to work with people. So
it's obviously very infectious. We talked about in our last couple of videos, like with Bottoms and Renfield, how it looked like the cast had a very fun time. Another movie like that is definitely like The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Movies like that I love. I just love that style of filmmaking, and it really does show in the movie, the final product.
Yeah.
From pre-production all the way to post, like people wanted to make this movie, and there was a lot of love and effort put into it, and everyone involved just really got along. It seemed. Who knows? We weren't there. Maybe it was not the case, but it really seemed.
Timothy and Hugh Grant fought on set.
Yeah.
I'm not spreading that rumor, by the way.
Yeah, when they shrunk him down, of course, as an Oompa Loompa, Timothy punted him off set.
That sounds such like Timothy.
It's such a Timothy thing. But no, we both really enjoyed Wonka. It was a great movie overall. And what were your thoughts on Wonka? Do you guys have you guys seen it? Yeah, we want to hear your thoughts. What chocolate were you hungry for, or which one did you think looked the most edible? Let us know in those comments down below. And we our next topic here is revolving around a little boy named Timothée Chalamet.
Let's go.
Yeah, you've never heard this guy before, right?
No, I haven't.
We've never brought him up ever. I don't know, never. I can't call him by his name and remember him, but
No, Timmy. What's your question? What's our topic?
Well, our topic today, Annmarie, is do we think, especially after Wonka and the versatile acting that we've seen from Timothée Chalamet in Bones and all, and like all these other movies that he's been in, do we think he is the next, Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah.
Yes, 100%. Case closed. All right, anyways, thanks, guys. No, I'm not saying this because I'm just a fan. I am a fan. But I really feel like Timothy has done a lot of his dues already. Little Woman, Beautiful Boy. This guy should have an Oscar at this point. He doesn't. He's been nominated for a couple, I'm pretty sure. But, if we're comparing him to Daniel Day-Lewis, I think Daniel Day-Lewis kind of had a similar start to Timothy. And look at him now. Like, he's one of the highest rated actors. And so I think Timothy, you know what, I always go back to Dune, but I think after Dune Part 2, we're going to see him pop up a lot.
Do you think Dune Part 2 is going to be his There Will Be Blood or Gangs of New York?
Ooh, good question. Oh, man.
Because I would say it's probably definitely not his Lincoln.
It's not his Lincoln.
Yeah, but
I think he's about 5 years from Lincoln.
Yeah. What would you think it would take for Timothy to become that Daniel Day-Lewis?
I think he's closer than most people think, to be honest.
Really?
I really do. I think he is trying different stuff. I think Wonka kind of is different and all that for him, just something that's different, but he's young. He wants to have fun. And Wonka's fun. And, Dune is his, superhero movie. I think he's honestly one or two good performances away from at that point. I think he's had more of a head start from Daniel Day-Lewis. And so, obviously, Daniel Day-Lewis, we think of Lincoln and all those movies. And so, but Timothée has that roster, too, with Little Woman and Call Me By Your Name, so.
Yeah, Lady Bird. The list goes on, really.
Yeah.
I can't really name too many things I've seen where I'm like, oh, I disliked that or I hated that.
Mm-hmm.
And even his worst movie, it's still arguably decent.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful Boy. I
love that one.
I
really
honestly
wish he got nominated for that one.
Honestly, I personally wasn't the biggest fan of that movie, but I thought the acting in it was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It was truly spectacular. Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet and what's her name? She's from The Office as well. And she plays the mom.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. But yeah, they're all wonderful in it, and that was my least favorite movie of Timothée Chalamet's that I've seen. But again, still, he really gives it his all.
Yeah.
And sometimes movies are the better for that. I mean, Nicolas Cage is a really good example of that,
mm-hmm.
where it's like they just get so into their role that even though the surrounding material is obviously lacking, someone's able to bring something to the table where it's still watchable and enjoyable.
That's such a good point, too, that they bring that, feeling of it. And I feel like directors can feel that, too. Because Timothée has worked, I know he works with Greta Gerwig a lot, but I feel like I don't know him personally, but I feel like he's
Why not?
I know, seriously. Timothée, call me up. I got you. I feel like he works so well with different directors because he's so young and open to a lot of things. And so I think, honestly, after Dune, he might take a little bit of a break, but I would love to see him come back in, a year or two and do something very historical. We kind of talked about him being Napoleon, a young Napoleon.
Oh my gosh, that would be.
I think that's the thing that gets him.
Yeah, you know what? You got your own fan casting page. I think
do.
You should definitely put that post up, man.
Guys, Timothée Chalamet
as a young Napoleon, and oh man, I would see that in a heartbeat.
That would be fun.
You know what? There's a chance of that.
Really?
I mean, think about it. You got Steven Spielberg working on his Kubrickian HBO Max whatever Napoleon series, miniseries.
Oh.
So there's still a chance.
I would love to see Timothée and Spielberg together, working together.
And keep in mind, it's with HBO. So, maybe one brother can warn another brother about this opportunity and, maybe something could happen. We don't know. But that would be my ideal casting of a generation, right next to Cillian Murphy and Oppenheimer.
Oh my gosh.
So
I feel like he could do it really well. I think, I think Timothée is really close to reaching that status. Not saying Daniel Day-Lewis is bad or, this is one of the greatest actors of our generation, but I think Timothée is at that stage where he just needs, one thing to push him over the edge.
Yeah.
And Napoleon would be it.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, each actor wants to do their own thing, and, they don't want to always be compared to another actor, but, it's just when you see someone rising as fast as Timothée is, and his career and the direction it's going, you can't help but compare, who we consider to be the greatest actor of all time in Daniel Day-Lewis. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll get there. Maybe he'll have a drop in his career. We don't know. We can't predict the future. Mm-hmm. But
I was pulling up what's up for him in the docket, Dune Part 2, obviously, and then he has one other thing called a complete unknown. There's not much about it. It's in production right now, but it's with Benedict Cumberbatch. So again, I think you gotta give him time, but I think eventually he's gonna get to that status. But he might want to take like a little bit of a break because he's been Warner Brothers a guy at this point. Like,
he's like the Tom Holland to Sony.
Yeah, he so is.
Yep.
So.
Which, hey, good for him. He's making that money.
Good for you.
And
right?
also getting quality projects.
Yes. Oh my god, I can't wait for Dune Part 2.
Yeah, but hey, with that done, what do you guys think about it? Do you think Timothée Chalamet is the next Daniel Day-Lewis? Do you guys think that he just needs maybe one more great movie to get him there? Maybe he needs a little more. We don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know in those comments down below. And with that down, I think we're done for the day. Don't you, Annmarie?
Yes, let's get started with the new year.
Yeah, again, Happy New Year to you all. A happy, wonderful 2024. Hope you made those resolutions. If it's going to the gym, great. Just know that I'm probably going to join you and hopefully not fail as quickly in that resolution consistently. So we're out here. We're doing our thing, and we're hoping you're doing the same too. Happy 2024 from Cassette Take to you.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.